Hey guys, Coach Graham here. Really want to say hey to you guys. Hope you're all doing well. We're going to do a quick devotional tonight about a guy named Elijah dealing with a time that he was scared. Right now, I feel like it's probably a really good time to kind of talk about this story because this is kind of a scary time. And if you're worried about it, if your friends are worried, that's okay. It's a different time. It's very different. There's not a lot of people alive that have ever been through anything like this, especially not, in the United States, and that's okay. We're going to get through this, and we're going to be fine. So, we've got a God that's going to take care of us because He promised He would. And I can tell you from my life, Nick can tell you from his life. I'm sure your parents have plenty of stories too, where God's really stepped up at times where things were scary and difficult. So today we're going to read a story about a guy named Elijah and a time in his life where he was really scared. Elijah was a guy who was a prophet in the Old Testament, and you can find this story in 1 Kings chapter 19. And here Elijah had just gotten done killing off about a bunch of really bad people. And the queen at the time, whose name was Jezebel, who worshipped a really bad god named Baal, threatened to kill him, and he got scared and he ran away. So we're going to start in chapter 19 of 1 Kings, and the title is Elijah Flees Jezebel. So Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, "So may the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by this time tomorrow." Then he was afraid. And Elijah arose and ran for his life and came to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. But Elijah went a day's journey into the wilderness further and came and sat down under a broom tree. And he asked that he might die, saying, "It is enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am no better than my fathers." And he lay down and slept under a broom tree. And behold, an angel touched him and said to him, "Arise and eat." And he looked, and there was at his head a cake baked on hot stones and a jar of water. And he ate and drank and lay down again. And the angel of the Lord came again a second time and touched him and said, "Arise and eat, for the journey is too great for you." And he arose and ate and drank and went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the mountain of God. There he came to a cave and lodged in it. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And he said, "I have been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts, for the people of Israel have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, killed your prophets with the sword, and I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away." And he said, "Go out and stand in the mountain before the Lord." And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind tore the mountains and broke in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, the sound of a low whisper. And when Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. And behold, there came a voice to him and said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And Elijah said, "I have been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts, for the people of Israel have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. And I, only I, am left, and they seek my life to take it away." And the Lord said to him, "Go, return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when you arrive, you shall anoint Hazael to be king over Syria." So, in this story, guys, what we've got is a situation where Elijah, who's a prophet, and Elijah's very powerful. He was very powerful. He was one of the biggest prophets in the Old Testament. You should read his story. It's pretty crazy. This is just one of the pretty incredible stories that he's got. But, despite all that power, he was terrified. He does what God wants him to do. He, kills all of these bad prophets that were, working for a God that wasn't God. He does all this. And then a crazy woman threatens to kill him, and he loses his mind. And he's like, "I'm out. I'm off. I'm gone." So he grabs his servant. They run away. He has his servant stop, and then he keeps going. He goes on for like a whole nother day until he finally stops, and he goes to sleep. He goes to sleep. He's woken up, and the angel says, "You need to eat. Eat." And so he wakes up and he eats. And then he goes right back to sleep. And then he wakes up again, and the angel says, "You are not strong enough to make the journey that I need for you to make. Have some food and have some water. Eat again." And then after that, he woke up, he was refreshed, and he went and he ran to the mountain of God, which was called Horeb in this story. So Mount Horeb, which is known as the Mount of God. And so for us, that's kind of like church, like you get exhausted, you go to church, you go talk to God, you go, say a prayer, you go get it to a quiet place, wherever you need to be in order to make that work. Well, for Elijah, that was Horeb. Once he leaves and he gets there, it's really interesting to look back at this story because God knew exactly what Elijah needed at this point in time. He needed a nap and he needed a snack. Now, I can attest to the beauty and the use of a nap and a snack when you're feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. It's amazing what a little sleep and some lunch will do for you. It's a big deal. And but once he gets through that, God says, okay, or Elijah says, okay, I'm going to go talk to God. So he goes to Mount Horeb. When he gets there, God puts him in a cave. He gets there, and three things happen. A wind goes and blows apart these mountains. A massive earthquake happens, and a fire happens. Huge fire. But God was not in any of it. So God is showing Elijah all this power, how strong he is, all these things that he can do, but he's not in it. He's not in it. But then at the end, God just says a whisper, and then Elijah comes out. Elijah just saw all of God's power, but it was the whisper, the peacefulness of God that had him come out. And what does God say to Elijah? He says, Elijah, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And God's not asking because he wants to know. God already knows. Elijah's anxious. He's tired. He's frustrated. He's scared. He's got people out here trying to kill him. But God said, what are you doing here? Because God wanted to hear Elijah say it. He wanted to hear Elijah find out. And all that power that God showed was to show Elijah, look, man, I've got this. I can handle all this. I can handle all of it. And after that point, when Elijah finally realized it, and you got to remember, Elijah wasn't exactly chill in his response either. Elijah's sitting here and he's like, man, God, I'm doing everything you tell me to do. I'm talking to these people. I killed all these bad dudes. I've done all this different stuff. They don't listen to me. Your people don't listen to me. Your people being Israel. Your people don't listen to me. They don't care about me. And now they're trying to kill me. So I'm just sitting here trying to do what you're telling me to do because I love you and I know you love me and I know you're trying to do what's best for me, but everybody's trying to kill me, man. And God says, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Look at all this power. Look at this power that I have. But that's not me. I am here next to you in this whisper. I am close to you. I am here with you. I got you. You're going to be fine. And then what does God say after Elijah has his little vent session? What does he say? God gives him something else to do. He says, go. You have to go to the wilderness of Damascus. And when you get there, there's this guy named Hazael, and he needs to be the king of Syria. That's what you need to do. And what does Elijah do? He picks up and he goes. Because he knows that God is with him. He knows that God has this power. Some crazy woman in a castle isn't going to catch him, isn't going to hurt him, isn't going to get him. And that's kind of the thing that we got to think about right now. That's why this story, I think, right now works for us, is because we've got to sit back and we've got to say, okay, we've got this virus out there, right? And it's scary. Things are going on. The world's shut down right now. And, we're working our way through it. But the thing is God is going to work with us through it. And God's going to give each of us what we need as how he sees the need. And so that may be different from everybody. In fact, it's probably going to be different from everybody. God's going to give, each person a different. For Elijah, it was, he needed a nap and a snack. So we got a nap and a snack. For you, it could be, going for a run. It could be, a hug with your mom. It could be a meme, a joke, a phone call, a game of FIFA. It could be all kinds of different things. It could be, a chore, a job. Maybe a neighbor needs some help and you're willing to help them out. It could be a whole bunch of different things that God is going to give to you, or God is going to supply you with, or put in your way that is going to help you get through this. And it's amazing how it works. But that doesn't mean to say that being scared is bad, or being anxious is wrong, or being fearful is wrong. The beautiful thing about anxiety and fear and being scared is that all those are opportunities when God is going to show up, and God is going to show you how powerful he is and how much he cares about you. Like with Elijah. Elijah was exhausted and scared. And so what did he give him? He gave him a nap and a snack. That's pretty awesome. He knew exactly what Elijah needed at that point in time, and he gave it to him. And gave it to him so that he could get to an even place and God could get a hold of that anxiety and get a hold of that fear and remind Elijah of how powerful he was. And that's what we've got right now. And so, when you guys are saying your prayers and you're doing your stuff and you're helping out at home, remember that sometimes you get scared. You do. But we're lucky because we got a God that loves us, and he's going to give us what we need in order to get through that. Could be a nap and a snack. Could be us going outside and playing soccer, because I'm going to go ahead and tell you I could use that right now. But we miss you guys a lot. Really do. We're looking forward to seeing you guys soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Nick's been putting up some great drills online. Do those, run them, see how you can do. I'm going to be putting up some footwork drills that if you got a tennis balls are great. Not as much damage around the house. Mom and Dad might like that better. If you want to do it with a regular ball, that works too. I'm going to put those up soon, hopefully tomorrow, maybe Sunday. But what we want to do is we want to, keep the flow going, keep the soccer going, stay connected. If you guys have questions, you want to talk to me, or you want to talk to Nick, you can shoot Hope Soccer Ministries an email. We'll get it to who it needs to go to. Yeah, guys, we'll talk to you soon. And don't be strangers. Bye.